Good morning, and thank you all for joining us for our presentation on the Community Navigator program for the CAEH 21 National Conference to End Homelessness. Throughout this presentation, we'll be explaining what a Community Navigator is, how they can operate within a community, their role in ending homelessness in the area, and most importantly, how you can set up your own Community Navigator program for your community. One of the key features of this program is its flexibility and adaptability to the population it is serving. So in that vein, the service will be presented through the lens of two different Community Navigator programs in Southwest Ontario, the one for the County of Middlesex and one for the municipality of ChathamKent. In true COVID-19 fashion, this presentation was recorded separately across the two municipalities and edited together, so we apologize in advance if there's any lack of cohesion. My name is Josh Smith, and I am the Community Navigator for Middlesex County Library, and I'd like to introduce one half of the Community Navigator team from ChathamKent, Kathy Young.
Hi, I'm joining you today to share information about the Community Navigator program in Chatham, Kent, Ontario. Thanks for being here. The municipality of Chatham-Kent's Community Navigator program was created in 2017 when Chatham-Kent's Employment and Social Services and Library Services partnered to offer assistance to library visitors who required life stabilization supports. The goal of the program follows the preventative model of providing assistance to at-risk, low-income, and vulnerable residents within the municipality before a crisis may arise. I am Kathy Young, one of the two Community Navigators in Chatham-Kent. Along with my co-navigator, Lori Dilliot, we assist folks with accessing and navigating government, social, and health services across the community, both virtually and in person. Even though our primary focus is in our two larger library branches, our time is made available for those in our other 9 rural libraries across the municipality.
Thanks, Kathy. Following in the footsteps of the Chatham-Kent team, the Middlesex County program began in a similar fashion. It's currently in its pilot phase, which began in September of 2020, and is being offered through the Middlesex County Library Services with funding from the Middlesex County Social Services Homelessness Prevention Program. As you can tell by the September 2020 start date, this was developed and launched entirely throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, which of course definitely has its share of challenges, foremost being the fact that I was offering a program through a public library that wasn't open to the public at the time. But it is now, which is great. I offer needs-based one-on-one supports, which leads to connections and referrals with programs and resources in the community. Of course, there's definitely a heavy focus on housing and homelessness prevention programs, but it branches out quite a bit further depending on what the need of the person could be. I mean, I'm looking at referrals to mental health supports, addiction supports, food supports, clothing supports, employment programs, education programs, whatever they may need, I'm able to help them out with by connecting them with a resource in the area. Beyond that, similar to the Chatham-Kent team, I also offer assistance with applications, such as Ontario Works, ODSP, CPPD, especially those last two tend to be pretty intimidating applications for people. They're quite long, ask for a lot of information, and I help people get through those applications, as well as providing further information about the programs they're applying for. And beyond that, I also help people apply for old age security, guaranteed income supplement program, birth certificates, ID, EI programs, anything with like a government application I can help out with. And this is offered countywide. I offer it through all the Middlesex County libraries, primarily out of the 5 comprehensive libraries, which in Middlesex County are our larger libraries. Tend to have more programming rooms, and by design they are intended to be community hubs. So the Community Navigator program is well suited for those comprehensive libraries. And all county residents qualify for the service. There's no real referral process, no eligibility requirements. If someone's looking to access my services, they just need to contact me or be connected to me through a community partner. But as kind of touched on there already, an important aspect of the Community Navigator program is its association with the local library services. And I'm going to pass this on to Kathy to explain further.
Typically, libraries are at the center of our rural communities and viewed as a space that is open and free for anyone to access without questions around why they are there. Individuals who are experiencing barriers or challenges to moving forward will often seek advice from the library as a source of reliable information. And as such, it's a logical location for community navigators to be placed. The opportunity then presents for library staff to direct patrons who they may see day to day and who may appear to be at risk with a warm referral to a community navigator. It then becomes the role of a community navigator to meet people where they're at without judgment and hold space for them to tell their stories, allowing time to share and feel comfortable enough to build a relationship of trust. Equally important is that community navigators must network and build ongoing partnerships with government and community-based programs and services all across the area of the municipality to provide seamless referrals to the services that will meet the individual's barriers or needs, thus assisting with moving them toward life stabilization. Monday to Friday, navigators can be found in one of the main branches of the Chatham-Kent Public Libraries, ready to assist individuals in need. We encourage folks to set an appointment time with us, either through the library staff, their case manager, or directly with us, to ensure that they have plenty of time to address their needs with us. However, walk-ins are totally acceptable, and if the navigator is busy, a short wait time in a comfy library chair is rarely seen as an inconvenience. At times, there are community members in rural areas across our municipality that request our assistance. The community navigator will then travel out to one of the smaller library branches in their community to meet them where they're at. Our flexibility in location is one of the key components of our position, along with the flexibility in our hours. Where social services typically run hours from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., library hours in many branches extend until 8 p.m. on certain days. Community navigators have provided services and supported library programming outside the typical 8 to 5 when needed. These appointments encompass various tasks that we categorize in order to track data to identify needs in our community and plan for future programming or service coordination. The categories we have identified are as follows. Referrals. We refer to multiple community agencies and services. We're not in place to duplicate services. Provide information. We have many requests of various types that we provide information on. If we have a scheduled appointment requesting information on a topic, we attempt to research and prepare, but are often required to do a web search or call community partners and contacts for more information during an appointment. Digital technology support. Although library staff often support individuals with their digital technology, community navigators are able to assist with situations that take more time than a library staff is able to provide an individual. Many people we assist have little to no skill or knowledge of the digital world and may need assistance to access something in this format. Completing forms. Community navigators assist with accessing and filling out digital and paper application and forms. Support employment service. We work together with our municipal employment resource advisors to assist with various employment-related tasks. Such tasks include, but are not limited to, creating or updating resumes, assisting library patrons with applying for jobs, navigating an employment resource with job seekers, and assisting with applying for employment online. Wellness visits. Initially, we use these short visits to get to know the individuals who frequent the library in an effort to share our roles and services with them. However, it has become helpful in providing a listening ear to some who may need this interaction and allows for us to check in with patrons who have accessed our services to follow up.
Thanks, Kathy. I'll now go over some of the specifics on how a community navigator can help end homelessness through a ground level approach. So first and foremost, obviously, is going to be our social housing applications. for a lot of folks, lower income, that this may be really their only option for long-term housing, and that's going to be your rent geared to income applications. It's going to be some of the rent supplement programs, such as the Canada Ontario Housing Benefit and the Community Housing Bridge program, and of course, Community Navigator can also request urgent homeless status on behalf of a patron for the rent geared to income application, which would give them some higher priority on that wait list. We can also assist with affordable housing or co-op housing applications. There's often a lot of confusion between the difference of rent geared to income and affordable and co-op housing. So we do help explain the differences and what may be the best fit for them, and we also help them with apply. We have connections with emergency housing, transitional housing. Of course, being rural remote, we don't tend to have a lot of those in our communities, but we try to manage the best we can and support the best we can for these kind of things. I know during COVID-19, there has been, at least for Middlesex County, we've had some motel funding programming offered through the county, through the Social Services Department. The Community Navigator for Middlesex has been kind of the starting point for people to determine eligibility for that. I also know ChathamKent helped with their emergency shelter during COVID as well. We also help with market rent exploration. Often right now, obviously during a housing crisis, it can be difficult to explore the rental market with high prices and low stock, but we do help people guide through that as well. Connection to homelessness prevention programs. This is especially notable for those maybe facing eviction. So there are, often in counties, communities, through social service departments, nonprofits, there are programs out there for helping pay back rental arrears. Maybe they need help with first month's rent, any moving costs. We can help them get connected with programs to alleviate that initial higher cost of moving into a new place. We can also provide, Residential Tenancy Act information. I do find there's a lot of power that comes with knowledge of the RTA, especially for some of our tenants who may be facing eviction or not sure if their rights are being infringed upon. We can help them try to navigate that. And if needed, we can help them get connected with some legal services. If it gets to the point where it needs to be presented in front of the landlord tenant tribunal, they can help out with that as well. Also, both myself and the ChathamKent team are all RentSmart qualified instructors, but I will let Kathy describe that in a bit more detail in one of her future sections here. She's a bit more been operating the program a lot longer than I have at this point. I'll also go over a couple of stats here, just in terms of this is the Middlesex County program within my first year of operation. I've been able to help 478 Middlesex County families and provided 934 services. And a service can be anything from, providing them some information, refer them to an agency, help them fill out an application, look at the rental market, whatever it may be, it would be considered a service in that part. I've helped 48 families get added to the subsidized housing wait list. Most of those would be with urgent homeless status as well. And probably my favorite stat here is 18 families secured long-term housing within the last year after accessing my services. I'll pass this back to Kathy for some more information on some of the new programs that the ChathamKent team have been able to put together, including more information about the RentSmart program touched on earlier.
Aside from meeting with individuals, community navigators provide other services. These programs and services directly and indirectly support securing and maintaining housing. They include RentSmart certification, ID clinics and one-on-one assistance, income tax clinics, or CVITP volunteers. RentSmart is a program designed for anyone who is willing, wants to be, or is a new tenant who has had difficulties with housing in the past or is not familiar with the tenant's rights and responsibilities. It builds knowledge, confidence, and skills, aiming to maintain positive tenancies. As certified facilitators, we community navigators run RentSmart certification and basics classes as part of our municipal Housing First initiative for many groups across Chatham-Kent. Prior to the pandemic, we ran in-person classes, but now have switched to virtual delivery of RentSmart certification To date, we have delivered 15 certification and 12 basics classes and certified 102 individuals. ID clinics and one-on-one assistance. One of the very first projects that we were tasked with as navigators was to create and run ID clinics across our municipality. So we partnered with Ontario Works Special Benefits case managers who screen clinics visitors' eligibility for financial assistance with their needed ID, and other employment and social service staff assisted with filling out birth certificate applications. In addition, we invited Service Canada to join us, who were able to provide social insurance numbers on the spot and answer questions about their services. From October 2017 until March 2020, these clinics served 509 individuals in obtaining birth certificates, photo ID, social insurance numbers, and had their questions answered about health cards, CPP, OAS, and other government services. Again, since COVID, we have not run any ID clinics, but have created a process in office to continue to assist individuals one-on-one who are in need of ID. For individuals who can afford to pay for their own ID, we assist them with obtaining ID through online applications in the libraries. Income tax preparation and filing. Due to COVID-related restrictions, many of the free income tax clinics where folks with modest or low income were used to having their income taxes returns completed were no longer available. The CRA Community Volunteer Income Tax Program was modified to create virtual appointments that were completed over the phone, email, or video conferencing. And the community navigators were asked to become tax preparers under this program. Many of our referrals came from library services who traditionally offered free face-to-face income tax clinics. To date, referrals continue to come from our Ontario Works program as we assist some of our higher needs individuals who may not normally file their taxes without this support. Since February 2021, we have filed 267 unique tax returns as far back as 2018, bringing an accumulated total of just over $725,000 back into our community with tax refunds, climate action incentive rebates, GST rebates, Ontario Trillium benefits, and Canada Child benefits. This service was well utilized during tax season. We continue to complete taxes for eligible community members.
Thanks again, Kathy. I'm now going to discuss how you can set up your own Community Navigator program to service your own community. Of course, both Middlesex and Chatham-Kent Community Navigator programs began with a partnership between the local library system and the social service department, but really any organization that's community-based can have their own Community Navigator program, and I'm going to give you kind of a brief outline how you may be able to accomplish that. So starting off, of course, you will need someone who is a dedicated multitasker. This program can be pretty wide-ranging at times, dealing with a lot of different people with a lot of different needs. You're going to have that strong ability to be able to multitask and keep track of everything. Of course, you do want to make sure you have all of your research done. This is going to be research on any nonprofit in the area that is community-based. This is going to be, your local social service department and the programs they offer, such as Ontario Works, ODSP. You want to be very familiar with those. Any of the churches in the area, you want to know what their meal programs look like. You want to know what their lunches are like. Basically, anything in the area that is community focused, you want to get familiar with those programs because those are the programs you're going to want to refer to and to help your clientele out. You want to build connections, strong connections with those community partners because you're going to be working very closely with them. Mutual referrals both ways. You want to have connections not just with the program itself or the organization itself, but with the people working in it, because those are going to be your primary contacts. You want to make sure this program has a lot of freedom and flexibility. Again, because you're dealing with so many different people, so many different complex needs, you want to have that freedom and flexibility to be able to help them as you need. Often it involves the ability to change course, or you get new information and the programs you may want to access change as well. So you want to make sure you have that ability to have that freedom and flexibility to help them out. Make sure you're accessible. Operating within a library, maybe have some set walk-in hours, have a posted schedule of what libraries you'll be visiting and when. Make sure you're email and or phone number, texting if possible. Make sure all that information is posted everywhere you can for anyone who may need to help and get your services. And then, important part of the Community Navigator program is be able to keep track of stats, how many people you've helped, what services you provided. And another kind of almost a side benefit to this role is because you're keeping these accurate statistics, it allows you to kind of get a better, clearer, focused picture of what homelessness looks like in your area. Often, especially rural road areas, you're dealing with a lot of hidden homeless. So often it can be very difficult to get accurate homeless numbers. But with the Community Navigator program, it's because you're helping so many people, especially those who may be homeless or experiencing a risk of homelessness. It allows you to kind of get a clearer picture, and with those stats could potentially help out future programming. And a big part of it, especially starting off, is advertising. No one's going to know what a Community Navigator program is, especially if it's brand new in your area. So you want to make sure you get your social media going, contact the local papers, put together a presentation for any of the organizations you'll be working with, or municipal councils. You want to do whatever you can to get that program name out there, because you want to start getting those referrals coming in, and the sooner you can start helping people, the better. And then finally, you'll make sure you have a strong presence in the community. You want to get onto any community partner networks. If there's a situation table in your area, you can get involved with. If there's a homeless coalition or a homeless action committee, get involved with that. Get involved with anything that you can that you think would help, further help your people you're helping. Especially looking at homeless prevention or housing, supportive housing, whatever you can do to get involved in those programs and help it make them more robust is going to be a good thing. But I think that's about the end of my part here. I thank you all for your time. I'm going to pass this back to Kathy for some final thoughts on the Community Navigator program. Thank you.
As you can see, the Community Navigator program has provided much needed assistance across our municipality to any individual seeking support. In terms of assisting individuals with precarious housing or those experiencing homelessness, Community Navigators have become a bridge between where they find themselves and the destination they are seeking. Warm referrals, vast knowledge of community resources, and strong partnerships with service providers are the foundation of the Community Navigator program. Pair this with accessible support in a safe, neutral environment, and community members soon discover that the support they may need can be as close as their local library.